as well. Elland Road this afternoon for Leeds United against Manchester United. Our match commentators Andy Gray and Martin Tyler.
Well, it's very cold on Christmas Eve, but none of the rain that fell heavily in the north of England yesterday and the day before. Kelly's long throw. Keane is trying to prevent a corner here, and he hasn't been able to do that.
First test coming up, Martin, I feel. Jobson will be in Weatherall. They'll be surprised as Carlton Palmer's not going in. And they've got Deane, they've got Weatherall, they've got Gary Speed, who's got great spring. They've got a threat.
They've got McAllister taking the corner. Jobson gets to it. Weatherall is in there, and a hand was used, and it's a penalty.
It has to give him the free kick, Martin. It looks, certainly a hand went up. There's no doubt a hand went up. Well, they're going crazy in there. The hand went up, there's no doubt, and it struck the hand. Now watch this. I said corners and free kicks may be important. They win the first header. That's the key. Now watch it as it comes in. Jobson gets the header in. They're going up to challenge. Up comes Nicky Butt. There's the left hand up. Took it off Weatherall. Look at Dermot Gallagher's position. Spot on. He sees it. He points to the spot. It's a penalty kick. Nicky, she should have intended that, Martin, but I've always said when you put your arms up that high or your hands up above shoulder level, when you make contact with the ball, you're asking for trouble.
Here goes McAllister. 1-0 to Leeds United.
Well, we said they've thrown out the traps, and they've got a real early reward for a very positive start. Super strike from the penalty spot early in the game. Are there any nerves? Not in McAllister's mind. Schmeichel goes the right way. He's got a big frame, but such is the quality. Even he can't get near it.
Well, Manchester United couldn't cope. Well, he's a great champion, Howard Wilkinson, of a mid-winter break. But if it does come into play, I hope it's not at the expense of the holiday fixtures. For so many fans, time with the family and plenty of football is the perfect recipe at this time of year.
I'll set for some of that as well. Especially when you get games like this and what's coming up in store in the coming couple of weeks. Great stuff.
Palmer. Parker didn't get there. Brian Deane against the bar. It comes out the way of speed, but drawn away by Butt. Leeds so close to a second.
Well, he did everything right, Brian. Right here, when you watch as Carlton Palmer comes through, there's the pass. He's fractionally offside, but he gets away with it. Schmeichel, well, we saw last week how good he was at spreading himself against Stan Collymore. And perhaps Brian Deane was watching it because he gets this up. And that's the important part of it. Now, will it come down for him? Wow, just not enough.
And Hillsborough, he's got caught up in the emotion of the Republic of Ireland's defeat in that European Championship playoff in the previous midweek. Weatherall miscalculated. Jobson didn't. Although Manchester United have popped one or two passes around and Cantona is trying to conduct the orchestra, it's been a fairly straightforward return to Mark Deane to this point. Cantona with the baton again. Irwin. Not jumping, and his arms down by his side. Speed, taking a risk here, giving it to Butt. Cole! Or maybe the luck has turned. Andy Cole got it through Deane. And Leeds, who've been committing suicide, in the words of Howard Wilkinson in recent matches, have done so again here.
He will be absolutely livid. Gary Speed's job here, you're defending a 1-0 lead, put your foot through it, down the line. You don't try and beat players in the edge of your box. They're outnumbered, the defenders aren't set for the cross. Both Cole and Cantona, watch the reaction of both of them. They pull off defenders, look at Cole. He just holds his run. Beautiful positioning. He needed a bit of luck because the goalkeeper went up.
He wasn't set either.
Nah, he wasn't, Matt, was he? It was more or less straight at him, but squid him through his hands. Hey, but you try to telling Andy Cole that. He struck the ball sweetly enough. He hit the target. That's what he had to do. And this time, Andy Cole got a bit of luck he's been looking for weeks now.
10 minutes to go to half-time. Manchester United's corner with Beckham. Out comes Deane, but it goes the punch to Cantona, who was lurking with real intent. Here he is again. He needs to push up to the edge of the penalty area. Beckham makes it his. Weatherall. More alarm bells ringing. Parker's missed it. It's Yeboah. Still got something to do. Tony Yeboah. He's done it. Leeds are back in front. Yeboah.
And once again a mistake at the heart of the goal. The slip a crucial one by Paul Parker. But didn't Yeboah do everything else oh so gloriously? This the finish of a world-class striker. Now Dennis Ever might think, I'll keep him on his right because he wants to go left. He does that right, but what he didn't account for was the quality on the right-hand side, as again Schmeichel spreads himself and Yeboah gets it up, over, and this time down.
Manchester United celebrations cut short. Manchester United have somewhat regrouped. Bruce can bring it down. Finds Cole well. He in turn finds Cantona well. 2 against 3, but it's still with Manchester United. Deane makes the save. I'm sure I saw people arriving home from parties from last night.
Up past you.
Wonderful first half, in keeping with the festive spirit. Started with Gary McAllister's penalty and handball by Nicky Butt after 5 minutes. Manchester United fought their way back. Andy Cole has scored here at Elland Road. He equalised, and then along came Tony Yeboah, who has had a difficult spell of his own. Leeds are back in front, but so much more to come, you feel. 2-1 to Leeds United at half. Fascinating statistics there, but perhaps the most surprising, only 5 fouls in the first 45 minutes, given the often explosive nature of meetings between Leeds and Manchester United. Doing well to beat speed in the air. Keane, here's Neville. He's now doing everything to chase that, but realising it was an unnecessary effort, and looks good deal on that. He's not at an opponent, but at his own right back.
Not best pleased to think about it. Pissed off himself, Nicky, but no surprise to see him ask the referee.
And he's still asking him, just a yard or so away from David Beckham there. Push by Deane on Bruce.
Well, they haven't kicked in this second half, Leeds at all.
McLaren. In fact, giving Cantona no chance. Leeds still can't take advantage of that. It's the side that are behind, that are calling the tune at the moment. Cantona. Beckham. Here's Owen. Not wanting to just tip the ball into the centre where Leeds are well served by Weatherall and Jobson in the air. Speed getting applause for the challenge, and Yeboah skips past Parker. Tony Yeboah in full cry. Tomas Brolin herring into the centre. Here's Brolin. And here's Schmeichel and Deane. And McAllister.
Well, they might be in trouble, but what a break from Tony Yeboah. And he tries to provide his strike partner, the new import, with a goal at Elland Road, and the only thing wrong, it's fractionally high. It's about 6 inches to a foot too high. Ryan Deane gives Peter Schmeichel, well, what we call an old-fashioned centre-forwards challenge. The ball's in there, he's just let Peter Schmeichel know he's around, and he's been booked for it.
Well, it is Owen, lets it run to the Frenchman. Beckham. For the most part, it's been played neatly and intricately, but in front of Leeds. Being sent tumbling by Yeboah, who feels that he's got to help out in the defending.
I just think they need to stretch Leeds as much as possible, width-wise. You look at all the white shirts that are there, now that's where they've congregated when United have the ball generally. I just think they have to spring it wide and stretch him a little bit more.
No left footer for this angle. No Giggs, no Sharp.
I think Beckham might fancy this.
Well, in his short career, he's already shown that he can be a A real set-piece specialist, David Beckham.
That was a decent effort. It wasn't that far away. I think his intention was always there. Steve Bruce moves the last man on the wall very cleverly to try and open up the space for Beckham. Look at the Bruce. He moves Gary McAllister. He's just trying to open up a yard on the left-hand side. You know, if that's down and on target, then Mark Deane's really struggling to get across to it. Well, the crowd are trying to lift their team. I think they sense as well. It's a little anxious time for Leeds at the moment.
Do you think, Andy, there's just a little bit of intent in it as well, in that they were very cavalier in the first half? Maybe Howard Wilkinson's put some reins on them.
I don't think so. I think this is Manchester United out and firing, and I think they've started brightly. They've put them under pressure, and Leeds have just been unable to get out.
Cole, who was such a force in the first half. The home side rationed to counter-attacks from what we've seen in the second, but this is a really meaningful counter-attack. Yeboah in and Schmeichel again. He went to lift it over the goalkeeper. He didn't go to ground as quickly this time.
Great contest, great football. That's what one-on-ones are all about. It's knowing what to do. Great run from Yeboah and a super ball from Brolin. Now he knows he's been beaten the first half, and this time, look at the goalkeeper. Brilliant stuff. Stands as big as a house. He wants to lift it all the time, but the goalkeeper will say it.
Weatherall. Well, Yeboah got to it when Manchester United wanted the ball to run out of play. Patching up's got to be done promptly. Brolin. Here's Palmer, tricks Owen. Brolin wants to be teed up here. He is teed up. It's 3-1. Brian Deane against Manchester United again.
Well, Deane's is a header, but the quality came from Brolin and Palmer. Carlton Palmer's run. Now watch that, round the back of Brolin. Now watch the way he just pulls it back and then looks up and says, go on. Is he going to shoot? No, he's not. It's a brilliant stand-up from Brolin. And the simple thing was Brian Deane's. The rest before was quality football to admire. The header was a good one from Deane that gave Schmeichel no chance.
Well, they were lining up. There was speed, there was Yeboah, and there was the goal scorer, Deane.
Well, you have to feel a bit for Manchester United, Martin. They had certainly were the better team in the second half, and looks like they would be the most likely to score. Eric Cantona has been off for 5-7 minutes, and in those 5 or 7 minutes, Leeds United have been able to exert a bit of pressure, and most importantly, get that valuable third goal.
In recent games at key stages, the money must be on Manchester United being beaten here. But here's Cole, and the picture might change here, but this time with a shot close to Beanie's body, he was ready to make the save, and there wasn't the sting and the surprise in it.
But the run was a good one, the ball was a good one, and that's probably the poorest of the 3 attempts he's had. Again,
we're into stoppage time with a Manchester United corner. Chance to make it look a bit better on the scoreline. Gary Speed very relieved, having been a major figure responsible for the 1 goal United have scored. Kelly. This could be the perfect finale. It's Palmer. Wallace trying to get free in the middle. McAllister coming up, and Palmer only finds McClare, but the danger isn't over for Manchester United yet. Speed.
Well, keep ball, that's what should be in their mind, and it's exactly what Gary McAllister's trying to do. Keep it there. That's what they want. They just want to keep possession of the football.
Here we go from Speed's clever back heel. Deane. They can rub it in.
Well, what a finale that would have been. That would have been the cherry on top of the icing, on top of the cake. Had that come off. Watch this. Great run from Eagle. Great cheek from Gary Speed. And this would just have been, well, as I say, the cherry on top of the icing for Leeds.
They've had possession, Manchester United, but they haven't been able to break through, break down Leeds. Cantona's corner. McAllister smacks it away, and it is an all-white Christmas for Leeds United. Manchester United beaten at Elland Road and Anfield as they were last season, but not in such quick succession. Brian Deane made sure of it with the only goal of the second half. Gary McAllister's penalty set Leeds off on the right note. They needed a good start after what had happened at Sheffield Wednesday. Andy Cole equalised. But then Peter Schmeichel beaten by Tony Yeboah to give Leeds a deserved half-time lead. United, Manchester that is, offered plenty of effort through midfield in the second half.